Meagan and I met at Karen McGregor's Rock the Stage in-person course in Calgary last month. She lives in DeWinton, Alberta, which is just south of Calgary. Meagan teaches worldwide tools that people can use to grow their businesses in alignment with the 12 universal laws. She bridges the logical and spiritual aspects of business to support people in stepping up into their highest potential and create a more purposeful business and life. Thanks so much for joining today, Meagan, and I'll pass the torch over to you.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Scott. I'm really, really excited to be here. And I'm going to start off our time simply by asking everybody, how would you feel, or how do you feel, when I say that positive thought is actually an avoidance technique? And why I say that is because we've been so taught over the years to have a positive mindset. When in fact, when we actually do the positive mindset or focus on creating a positive mindset, we're usually avoiding our shadow or our more challenging feelings, thoughts, aspects of self. So instead of creating a positive mindset, we want to start focusing on building a proactive mindset. Because when we have a positive mindset, we're always looking for something to happen in order for us to have to shift our mindset and redirect our focus. Whereas if we have a proactive mindset, we're centered and grounded into our state of being. So I want to talk a little bit about what that actually looks like. I'll share a little bit about myself, my journey, my story, and some tools that you can utilize today to implement to begin building that proactive mindset for yourself so that you're grounded in that center part of being yourself. My name is Meagan Fettes, and for the last 15 years, I have been in the mindset, spiritual industry. I started off my career as a yoga instructor and went on to facilitating yoga teacher trainings, and just recently have actually been a part of a film called How Thoughts Become Things with people like Joe Vitale, Bob Proctor, Marie Diamond. And that is amazing things, and I am very proud of those accomplishments. However, what I'm really truly amazed with in my own journey is about 2 years ago, I went through an experience of losing someone who I would consider to be my most favorite person in the world. She was my safe place. She was my rock. And she was my best friend. It was my grandmother. And losing her, I didn't expect to create the tailspin that it did. When I lost her, when she passed on, it was like an undoing of all of who I was. It was like she was my safety net, and all of a sudden, all of these things had been untied, and I was just left to fall, working to find out who I really was, because everything I had gained, everything that I believed was based around her. And so for the last 2 years, I've really been invited to take a step back and look within, start implementing the tools really deeply that I teach to be able to move through that process of positive thought into proactive thought. And the biggest tool that I have utilized, that I share with all of my clients, is choosing what is. So that's the first thing I want to share with you, is choosing what is often when we're in the state of challenge, or we're in the state of trauma, or we're in the state of feeling something that we don't want to feel, is we want to avoid it. We're looking for ways to fix it. We're looking for a new way to feel better. And really what we're meant to be doing is just stopping and choosing what is, that feeling that we're experiencing, just breathing into it. And what I mean by that is unwinding from the story that we've created about why we're experiencing that, why we're feeling that way, and instead actually tapping into our body. Where do we feel this in our body? How are we choosing to experience it? And just being with that feeling, breathing into it, experiencing it, and being with it until it begins to dissolve. And when we choose what is, we have the opportunity to create what's next. Okay? So instead of creating that initial flash of choosing or creating a positive thought, I invite you to just sit with that feeling. Sit with the experience, sit with the thought, breathe into it. Once it dissipates, then choose or create what's next. Okay. The other tool that I have utilized, which is one of my most cherished, is to embrace the opposite. So when we're feeling tired or when we're feeling anxious, what do we naturally do? Usually we enhance that energy. So we begin to lean into it and we begin to build upon that energy. So if we're tired, we feel like we need to lay down and sleep. Or if we're feeling anxious, we make ourselves busier. But instead, grounding into that space of being, we want to embrace the opposite. So when you're feeling tired, getting up to move. And a prime example of that actually is in Ayurvedic medicine, which is what created yoga. There is a belief system that if we're experiencing depression or if we're moving slower, that we need to actually invite more vital energy, life force into our body, into our being. And in fact, one of the therapeutic practices is to get up and do 12 sun salutations. So very invigorating, heat, energized type practice to start building ourselves and enhancing the energy within our being. And that actually shifts our state of mind, our state of physical being into a more natural balance within ourselves. Whereas on the other side, if we're experiencing anxiety or we're moving really fast, very busy, we're meant to stop. We're meant to just stop and create stillness. Rest, take a bite to eat, drink water, meditate, whatever allows you to take that time to stop and create stillness. And that's actually embraced by the law of polarity. So the law of polarity is recognizing that when we're experiencing one thing over here, that we want to actually bring it into balance by taking on the opposite action so that we can counteract and bring ourselves into that state of being, of groundedness, of centered. So these tools, these are ones that not only allow you to shift your state of mind and become more proactive in who it is that you're being and how you're choosing to show up, but it allows you to have the tools that bring you back into the space of alignment. Okay? Because when we're experiencing a different state of mind or a different experience in feelings and emotions, all that is an experience of something taking us out of who we actually are. So we want to take that time, create the space, choose what is, create what's next, embrace the opposite so that we can bring ourselves back into that balance of being who we are truly meant to be. Thanks, everyone.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Meagan. And what you said about, thinking positive, how that really doesn't work. I truly resonate with that. I just know myself personally. I read a bunch of personal development books and was always told, think positive, but I hadn't really done the deep work and more importantly, changed my thinking. So thanks so much for sharing that amongst everything else. And for those of you who truly resonate with Meagan as a person and would love to explore more about what she does, I did post links below this video. Go and check her out. And thanks so much again, Meagan, and enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Scott. Enjoy.
My pleasure. Talk later.